Christmas had already been loud before anything went wrong. Too many voices in one room. The television turned up to drown out pauses. The smell of food layered so thick it felt like another person had joined us. My family did holidays the same way every year, crowd everything together and call it warmth. Discomfort was treated like bad manners. My sister moved through the house like she owned it, correcting where coats were hung, repositioning plates, telling my daughter, gently at first, to sit like a big girl, to lower her voice, to stop fidgeting. I always noticed. I just told myself it wasn't worth it. Not today, not with everyone watching. My daughter is sensitive in a way that doesn't show until it does. She holds things in, then suddenly can't. By late afternoon, the noise had worn her down. She asked me if we could go home. I said soon. I always said soon. The crying started quietly. Just tears, no screaming. Her face folded inward like she was trying to disappear. I stood up, already reaching for her, already planning an exit that wouldn't offend anyone. I was too slow. My sister grabbed her arm, harder than necessary, fast enough to surprise us both, and pulled her upright. "Stop crying," she said. "You're embarrassing us?" The words echoed because nothing else followed them. No one spoke. No one moved. The room seemed to hold its breath in that way families do when something unacceptable happens, but acknowledging it would cost too much. I felt my body lock. Not because I didn't know it was wrong, but because some old reflex told me that reacting would make it worse. That I would be the problem. That if I stayed calm, it would pass. My daughter's eyes went wide. She didn't understand the accusation. She only knew she had been singled out. And still, no one said anything. Then my husband stood up. He didn't shout at first. He didn't explain. He didn't look at anyone else in the room. He brought his hand down on the table once. The sound cut clean through everything. G-E-T. O-T. It wasn't loud, it was absolute. My sister laughed, sharp and incredulous. "Oh, come on." "No," he said. Something shifted then. Not emotionally, structurally. The kind of shift that happens when authority enters a room and no one can pretend it didn't. My sister looked around, waiting for backup, for someone to soften it, to reinterpret it, to make it a joke. No one did. She grabbed her purse. Her face was red, her mouth already forming explanations she wouldn't get to use. She left without another word. The door closed behind her, and the house felt stunned. Like it had miscalculated how far it could go. I picked up my daughter and held her. She buried her face into my neck, shaking. My mother reached for us, then stopped, unsure if she was allowed. "You didn't have to do that," my father said eventually. Not accusing, just uncomfortable. "Yes," my husband said. "I did." No one argued. We left soon after. There was no dramatic exit. No one followed us to the car. The night air felt colder than it should have, but cleaner. My daughter fell asleep on the way home, her breathing uneven but deep. Later, when the house was quiet again, I sat on the edge of her bed and watched her sleep. I replayed the moment in my head, not my sister's hand, but my own stillness. The way my husband's voice had cut through what I couldn't, I thanked him. Then I cried, not because of what happened, but because of how familiar it felt. The fallout didn't arrive all at once. It came in careful messages, in sideways conversations. My sister texted once, accusing us of overreacting. My parents suggested we all cool off. Someone mentioned how stressful holidays are. No one asked how my daughter was. We didn't respond. Not out of spite, out of clarity. Christmas passed into January, then February. My sister wasn't invited to our home. We weren't invited to hers. The silence hardened into something permanent. At first, I felt guilty. I had been raised to believe that keeping the family together mattered more than almost anything. That children adjusted. That adults endured. But my daughter stopped flinching around raised voices. She stopped asking if she was being bad. When she cried, she relaxed in ways I hadn't realized. She'd been tense. That mattered more. My husband never framed what he did as heroic. He didn't talk about it much at all. He had seen a line crossed and acted, cleanly, without apology. I wish I had done it myself. That thought still stings. But I also know this. The family I came from trained me to wait for permission to protect myself. The family I built does not. My sister never came back. Not to holidays. Not to birthdays. Her absence is still mentioned sometimes, like a bruise pressed gently to see if it hurts. It does, but not in the way they expect. What hurts is knowing how easily my daughter was sacrificed to comfort. What heals is knowing she won't be again. There was no reconciliation, no group conversation where everyone learned something. Just a door that closed and stayed that way. And on the other side of it, a quieter house, a safer one.